Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet these cute little pots with a lace edging or a shell edging. So for my pots I used a 3mm crochet hook and worsted weight yarn. So thank you very much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos. So to begin your pot, you want to start off by making a magic circle. So to do a magic circle, take your yarn and take your finger and wrap the yarn around your finger once. And you then want to wrap the yarn back over your finger to create a cross, like that. You then want to take your crochet hook and go underneath the first loop of the cross, and then using your crochet hook, pick up the second loop of the cross and pull it through. And you can then take your finger out, and there you have a magic circle, and we are ready to begin round one. So we are now on to round one of our little pot, and to begin this round you want to chain one. And this chain one does not count as a stitch, this just locks our magic circle into place. So now for round one, we're going to do 11 single crochets into the magic circle. So 11 single crochets. So to do a single crochet, insert your hook into the magic circle, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So there we have one single crochet into the magic circle. So now go back into the circle and do a second one. Then do a third one in the exact same way, and a fourth, and keep doing this until you have 11. So I have just finished working those 11 single crochets for round one, and now to finish off this round we need to close up our magic circle. So to close up your magic circle, you want to take your end or your tail here and simply pull this nice and tight. So pull this as tight as you can, and that will close up the magic circle. And now when we are working our pot, we are not going to be using any slip stitches, so we are not going to be joining at the end of the round, and that will save us from having a seam that goes up the side of our pot. So do not join at the end of this round, do not work a slip stitch. And now we are ready to move on to round two. So we are now on to round two. And in this round we are going to do 2 single crochets into every single stitch. So we're going to do 2 single crochets into this stitch, 2 into this one, 2 into the next, and we're just going to do that all the way around. So you want to start off by going into this very first single crochet here. So this is the first single crochet of last round. Go into this stitch and do 1 single crochet. But before we move on and do our second single crochet down into this stitch, we're going to take a stitch marker. So I have a little stitch marker here, and if you don't have one of these, you could just use a safety pin or a piece of yarn in a different colour. And we are going to place our stitch marker through that stitch that we just worked. So through the first stitch of round 2. So I'm going to go in through that single crochet, the one that we just worked, and place my stitch marker through that stitch. And that way I will know that when I reach this stitch marker that I have come to the end of round 2. So there we have done 1 single crochet into the first stitch and placed a stitch marker into that stitch. So now we're going to go back down into the same stitch again for a second time and do a second single crochet. Then you want to go into the next stitch and do 2 single crochets, both into this one. Then do 2 single crochets, both into the next stitch, and 2 into the next, And just continue this all the way around for round 2. 2 single crochets into every single stitch. So I have just finished working that all the way around, and I have reached my stitch marker here. So the next stitch has the stitch marker in it, so I know that I have reached the end of round 2. So now I'm going to remove this stitch marker, so take this out, and now we're ready to move on to round 3. So to begin round 3, we are going to go down into this first stitch here and do 1 single crochet. So go down into this first stitch and do 1 single crochet into this stitch. And as this is the first stitch of round 3, we're going to take our stitch marker, so take our stitch marker and place it into this stitch. So there we are marking the first stitch of round 3, and we know that when we reach this stitch marker, we have come to the end of the round. So we have done 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and now we are going to go into the next stitch here and do 2 single crochets. So go down into this next stitch and do 1, and then go back down and do a second single crochet into that same stitch. And now you want to do 1 single crochet into the next stitch, but then 2 single crochets both into the next one. And you want to repeat this all the way around for round 3. We're going to do 1 single crochet into one stitch, then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, then 1 into the next, 2 into the next, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. So I am just coming to the end of round 3. So I have done 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets all the way around, and I have 1 stitch left to work in here at the end. So usually I would put 2 single crochets into this last stitch here, as we have been doing 1, 2, 1, 2 all the way around. But what we're going to do is we're going to finish off by just working 1 single crochet into this last stitch. So you want to go down into this very last stitch at the end and work 1 single crochet into this very last stitch. So you should finish off by doing 1 single crochet into each of the last 2 stitches, and then you should reach your stitch marker. So there we have finished round 3, and at the end of this round you should have 32 single crochets around. So if you counted all the way around, you should find that you have 32 single crochets. And now we're ready to move on to round 4. So we are now on to round 4, and I have just removed my stitch marker. And round 4 is just a simple round of single crochet. So we are just going to do 1 single crochet into every single stitch around. So start off by going down into this first stitch here and do 1 single crochet. And as this is the first stitch of the round, take your stitch marker and place it through this stitch, through the very first stitch of round 4. And now we're going to go into the next stitch and do 1 single crochet, then do 1 into the next one, and 1 into the next, and just continue this all the way around, 1 single crochet into each and every stitch. So I have just finished working that all the way around for round 4. So I have reached my stitch marker. So now we're going to remove the marker and move on to round 5. So we are now on to round 5, and the next part of our pot is very simple. So for the next 7 rounds, you just want to repeat round 4. So for rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, so 7 rounds, we're just going to repeat round 4. And round 4 is just a simple round of 1 single crochet into each stitch. So we're going to do that all the way around for round 5, then for round 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way around for round 11. So you want to stop when you get to the end of round 11. So to begin each round, do a single crochet into the first stitch here, and then place a stitch marker into that first stitch. And it's really important that you always remember to use your stitch marker. So place it in the first stitch of every round, then do 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 1 into the next, and continue this all the way around. And in each round you should find that you have 32 single crochets. So do that all the way around for 7 rounds. So I have just finished working those rounds. So I have come to the end of round 11, and this is what you should have. So you can see we have the main part of our little pot complete. And if you wanted your pot to be taller, then just keep adding rounds of single crochet. So just keep repeating round 4. You can do as many of those rounds as you like. So you could add 1 extra round or 2 or 3 depending on what you want. So then once you have come to the end of that last round, remove your stitch marker, and we are going to work a slip stitch. So we're going to finish off by joining. So insert your hook into this stitch here, so into this next stitch, and yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So work a slip stitch, and now you want to fasten off. So pull your yarn out and your hook and cut your yarn, leaving a tail to weave in later. So I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving a nice long tail. And there we have finished the main part of our pot, and we're ready to move on to the border. So we are now going to move on to adding the border of our pot. And to start off, we need to turn our pot inside out. So turn it inside out like this, like that. And now you want to insert your hook into any stitch around. It doesn't matter which stitch you go into, you can go into any one you like. So I'm going to go into this stitch here, insert your hook into that stitch, and then take your new yarn. So I'm going with a cream for my border. Place it over the end of your hook, pull it through, and then chain 1 to attach the yarn. So chain 1. So there we have attached our new yarn to our work, and we're ready to begin round 1 of the border. So to begin round 1 of the border, you want to go down into this first stitch here. So this is the stitch that we just attached our yarn into, and we're going to do a single crochet. So go down into this first stitch that we just attached the yarn into and do 1 single crochet. And now we are going to chain 4. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and then skip 3 stitches. Skip 1, 2, 3. Then into the next stitch we're going to do 1 single crochet, then chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and just continue this all the way around. Do a single crochet, chain 4, skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, and just continue this all the way around. So I'm just coming to the very end of this round. So I have done single crochet, chain 4. So now skip the last 3 stitches and then go into the first single crochet that you worked and work a slip stitch. So insert your hook into that first single crochet and yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So there we have round 1 of the border complete, and we're ready to move on to round 2. We are now on to round 2 of our border, and this is the final round of our pot. So to begin this round, we are going to go into this very first chain space here. So this is the chain space, the very first one after this single crochet, and insert your hook into this chain space and do a slip stitch. So yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So do a slip stitch into that first chain space, and now you want to chain 1, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet down into this space. So go back down into the space and do a single crochet. So we did a slip stitch into this space, then chained 1 and did a single crochet. And now we're going to move on to the next chain space here, and into this space we're going to do 7 double crochets. So 7 double crochets all into this space. So to do a double crochet, yarn over and go into the space, pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops and pull through the final 2 loops on your hook. So there we have 1 double crochet into that space. So now go back down and do a second one, then a third and a 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. So do 7 double crochets all into that chain space, and now do a single crochet into this next space here. So go to the next chain space and do a single crochet into this one, then into the next chain space do 7 double crochets. So 7 all into this next space. And we're just going to continue this all the way around for this round. Into the next space do 1 single crochet, then into the next space do 7 double crochets all the way around. So I have just finished working that all the way around. So I have done 7 double crochets into this last space here, and then to finish off this round we're going to do a slip stitch into the first single crochet that we worked. So go into the first single crochet and do a slip stitch like that, and there we have completed our pot. So now you can fasten off. So pull your yarn out and your hook and cut your yarn, leaving a tail to weave in later. And now you can go ahead and turn your pot back around the right way. So remember, we turned it inside out, so you need to turn it the right way round again. So like that, and then you want to fold your work over. So fold the border over, and you should find that the right side of the border is on the same side as the right side of the main part of your pot. So like that. And then you can go ahead and weave all of your ends into the inside. So weave all of the ends nice and securely into the inside, and we have finished. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it easy to follow. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos. And in the description box below this video, I will leave a link to where you can find my written patterns if you are interested. So I have made some of my patterns available as written patterns, and I will have a link to where you can find them in the description box below. And I will also have a link to my Twitter account, so if you would like to go and follow me on there, I always like to post updates and pictures of upcoming tutorials, and I would love to see photos of your crochet work on Twitter as well. And thank you again for watching. Bye!